The story begins with a wealthy man named Song, who worked as a manager at Baron Bank in Busan. One morning, he got ready for work and left home with his daughter Sasha and young son Tom. His plan was to drop them at school first and then go to the office. As soon as they sat in the car, Song noticed a strange smell but didn't pay much attention to it. After saying goodbye to his wife, he drove off. Soon after, he heard a phone ringing nearby and asked his daughter to pick it up, but she said it wasn't her phone. When Song checked the glove compartment, he found a phone there, which surprised him. He assumed it belonged to the driver. When he answered it, an unknown man said he had confidential information about Song's car. Song thought it was a scam and hung up. But then he noticed the wallpaper on the phone. It was a photo of his own family. Shocked, he asked Sasha about it. She said the photo was taken last year and that their mom had uploaded it to Facebook. Soon the phone rang again. This time the caller revealed he knew everything about Song and his bank position. Then he made a shocking claim. He had installed a pressure-sensitive bomb under the seats, and if anyone stepped out of the car, it would explode immediately. Song assumed it was a bad joke and cut the call. Later, when he stopped at a gas station and was about to get out, the caller rang again and asked if he had noticed the strange smell. Now Song became truly frightened. The man said he had been tracking him for a long time and warned that if Song stepped out, his children would die within seconds. A petrol station employee asked him to step out for refueling, but a terrified Song paid him instead and told him to fill the tank himself. While driving again, Song checked under his seat and actually found a bomb, which terrified him completely. The caller said he had the detonator and warned him not to contact the police. The caller demanded 1.7 billion won, about 15 million rupees, transferred to his account plus 60 million rupees in cash. Song said he didn't have that much money, but the caller insisted that as a bank manager, arranging it shouldn't be difficult. When they reached the kids' school, Tom's friends approached the car, but Song nervously told his son not to step out and sent the other children away. The caller forced Song to tell his children the truth, that there was a bomb under their seats, and they panicked. Then Song received a call from a colleague who had also received a similar threat and had a bomb in his car. They met soon after. The colleague's wife was in the car too and wanted to get out, not believing the threat. Despite Song's warning, she eventually stepped out, and moments later the car exploded, killing both her and Song's colleague. This confirmed the threat was real. The explosion injured Tom, and he began bleeding heavily, which made Song even more desperate. The caller increased his demands and showed no sympathy. Song tried to gather money through bank clients, even calling his wife to withdraw cash and deliver it as instructed. Meanwhile, police investigating the explosion became suspicious of Song after seeing CCTV footage that made him appear involved. Later, when his wife delivered money to a mailbox as instructed, police arrested a suspicious man nearby. Song thought it was over, but the caller was still on the phone. Suddenly, the mailbox exploded instead of the car, filling the area with smoke and fire. Though his wife survived, police grew more convinced Song was responsible, while the caller continued demanding money. Tom's condition worsened due to blood loss. Police chased Song's car, eventually surrounding him. Bomb squad officers arrived, and snipers prepared to shoot if necessary. A female officer tried to persuade Song to release the children. Eventually, it was discovered that bombs were only under the front seats, so the children were safe. Tom was taken for medical help, but Sasha refused to leave her father and moved to the front seat so she wouldn't abandon him. Soon, a young man named Sam arrived claiming to be Song's brother. Police allowed him close, but he revealed he was actually the caller. He explained he had nothing left to lose. He temporarily deactivated the bomb so Sasha could leave, but then revealed a timer bomb with 18 minutes left. He kidnapped Sasha and fled. Later, it was revealed that 6 years earlier, Song had helped cover up bank fraud that ruined many factory workers financially. One pregnant woman who lost everything was Sam's wife. Unable to bear the stress, she died along with their unborn child. Sam had planned revenge ever since. Eventually, at a dock near the chemical factory, Song confronted Sam. Money had already been credited due to a legal case against the fraudulent bank. Song apologized to his daughter and admitted his past wrongdoing. The story begins with a wealthy man named Song, who worked as a manager at Baron Bank in Busan. One morning, Song got ready for work and left home with his daughter Sasha and younger son Tom. His plan was to drop them off at school and then head to the office. But as soon as he got into the car, Song smelled a strange odor. He didn't pay much attention to it. He said goodbye to his wife and drove off. A little while later, Song heard a phone ringing nearby and asked his daughter to answer the call. But the girl said, "It wasn't my phone." Song checked the glove compartment and found a phone lying there, completely perplexed. He thought it might be the driver's phone. As soon as he picked up the phone, an unknown person on the other end said, "I have intelligence about your car." But Song thought it must be a scammer, so he immediately hung up. But then Song noticed the phone's wallpaper, which featured a photo of his own family. He was quite shocked. When he asked Sasha about the photo, Sasha said, "We took it last year. You were very busy, so you couldn't come." She also told him that her mother had posted this photo on her Facebook profile. Song became even more confused as to whose phone it was. Then suddenly the phone rang again, and this time the caller revealed that he knew everything about Song and his bank position. Then he made a shocking revelation. He said, "I've planted a pressure-sensitive bomb under your seats, and if anyone gets out of the car will explode immediately." But Song thought it was a bad joke and hung up. A short while later, Song arrived at a gas station, and just as he was about to get out, he received another call. This time, the caller asked if he noticed any strange smells in the car. That's when the banker got really scared. The man revealed that he had been tracking him for a long time, and if he got out of the car, his children would die within seconds, that's for sure. Just then, a petrol pump employee arrived and yelled at Song to get out of the car and fill up. Why was he wasting time? time. But a frightened Song gave him some money and said, "Brother, you pay." Song then continued driving, and at the caller's request, he put his hand under his seat. He found a bomb, which terrified him. The caller told him, "I have the detonator right there. If you even try to call the police, I will detonate the bomb immediately." The frightened Song asked, "What do you want?" The caller demanded, "Deposit 1.7 billion won, or approximately 15 million rupees, into my account along with 6 crore rupees in cash." Song replied, "Where do I have that much money?" But the caller replied, "You're the manager of such a large bank. It shouldn't be difficult for you to deposit such a sum." A short while later, they arrived near the children's school where Tom's friends approached the car to meet him. But Song, alarmed, told his son not to get out of the car and then quickly shooed the other children away. The poor children were at a loss to understand what was happening. But then the man on the call forced Song to tell them the truth. Song was forced to tell the children that there was a bomb planted under their seat. And upon hearing this, both children were terrified. Just then, Song received a call from his colleague, who was also extremely nervous. It turned out that he had also received a call from the same stranger, and that his car had also been bombed. Song asked him for his location and shortly thereafter arrived and met him. He saw that his colleague's wife was also sitting in the car, but she wanted to get out because today was a very important day for her. She couldn't believe the bomb scare. So Song calmly explained it to her and asked her to stay in the car for a while, which she reluctantly agreed to. Meanwhile, a man came by and yelled at Song for blocking the road. So she apologized and proceeded to move the car and park. Meanwhile, her colleague's wife, tired of waiting, got out of the car despite his refusal. The next moment, the car exploded with a loud bang, killing both Song's colleague and his wife on the spot. Why couldn't these girls agree to something so sweet? Seeing this, everyone present, including Song's entire family, were completely shaken, as it confirmed that the threat was absolutely true. His children were shocked, and the blast had pierced a piece of iron in Tom's leg, causing bleeding. Tom was screaming in pain, and Song was now completely terrified. The caller demanded money again, and seeing his son in this condition, Song was forced to pay. He begged them to let him take his son to the hospital first, but the caller said that it didn't matter to him whether the boy lived or died. Far from showing mercy, the man increased his demands even further, saying that Song would also pay for his deceased co-worker's share. Hearing this, Song became furious. He laughed, saying that withdrawing such a large amount would make the bank suspicious. But the caller revealed, "I already know how much money is in your account outside your country." Defeated, Song called one of his juniors and told him that he had found a new investment opportunity. Song asked him to immediately convince his VIP clients to invest their money. His junior agreed and even spoke with some clients, but the amount deposited was still not as much as the caller had demanded. Frustrated, Song asked his junior for a list of VIP clients so he could speak to them himself. After a while, Song spoke with his most important client and tried to convince him that such an investment opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. The woman was very interested and told her that they had just sold some of their land. "But I need to talk to my husband before making such a big decision." But Song began to insist, "Ma'am, we don't have time. We have to do it quickly." This made the woman suspicious and she immediately refused to make any decisions. The next moment, the caller said, "Let's start with cash first," and asked Song to call his wife and send her the money. Seeing no other way, Song immediately called his wife and asked her to withdraw all the money from the bank and deliver it to a single location. Hearing this, she was completely shocked. Furthermore, she could hear her son crying on the phone, which only made her more frightened. But Song assured her that everything was fine. On top of that, Sasha also told her mother that, "It's all right, Mom, he's just crying." Still, Song's wife said, "I'll inform the police," but Song vehemently refused to do anything like that. Now, distraught, Song began begging her to do as he said. "Please agree," and only then did his wife relent. At the police station, officers were investigating the previous blast. They were watching CCTV footage, which showed Song talking to his co-worker, and it appeared as if there was a fight between the two. They also noticed that Song moved away just before the blast, which made them suspect that he knew about the impending explosion. This led them to suspect that Song might be the culprit and had killed his partner due to some personal enmity. Even though he wasn't doing anything in the footage, he wasn't even doing anything. On the other hand, a short while later, Song arrived at the bank. He saw that his wife had also arrived, but she had brought a friend with her. This made Song nervous. His wife then went inside to withdraw money. While her friend began knocking on the car window to talk to Song, a frightened Song signaled her to stay away and drove away. After withdrawing the money, Song told his wife to place the bag in front of a mailbox as the caller had asked. His wife did so, but a short while later she reported that a tall man was approaching her and staring at her in a strange manner. Hearing this, Song immediately drove in that direction and told his wife to leave immediately. However, by the time Song arrived, the police had already arrested the man with his wife's help. Hearing this, Song breathed a sigh of relief, thinking he and his family were safe. But the next moment, all his hopes were dashed as the caller was still on the phone. He said, "You've made a big mistake by colluding with the police." The man then began the countdown, and Song and his children prepared for their deaths. But suddenly, instead of the car, the mailbox exploded. The entire area was filled with smoke and fire. Luckily, Song's wife survived and was able to speak to him. Frightened by this, Song drove away, while the caller continued to demand money, saying, "I want it at any cost." At the same time, the police saw CCTV footage showing Song at the a second blast site. This convinced them that this man was behind the whole incident, and police were deployed to find him. Meanwhile, Song called his junior and learned that he still hadn't collected the full amount. Enraged, Song yelled at him and then told the caller, "Look brother, I'll transfer all the money I have. Just let my children go." But the caller clearly stated that he wouldn't make any deal until he received the full amount. Furthermore, his son Tom was bleeding profusely and on the verge of fainting. Song again begged the caller to let him take his son to the hospital first, but the man still showed no mercy. A short while later, a police officer approached Song and asked him to get out of the car and talk. Song refused and drove off at full speed to find a hospital. The police then took swift action, deploying numerous police vehicles and helicopters. After a fierce chase, the police finally cornered Song, and he had no way to escape. An officer approached and told him to get out of the car. Song was then forced to tell the truth. He told her that there was a bomb planted under the seats. He also said that if they didn't let him go, he would detonate the bomb along with his children. Hearing this, all the police were shocked. Shortly after, the bomb squad was called in, and the chief officer ordered the sniper to shoot Song as soon as the children got out of the car. A female officer then approached Song and begged her to leave her children, but a distraught Song refused and showed her the phone's on-call screen. The officer realized how critical the situation was, so he handed over water bottles and a walkie-talkie so the police could hear everything. When the police moved away, Song placed the walkie-talkie near the phone. She tried to talk to the caller, but there was no response from the other end. Just then, he received a message from the caller, which said to throw away the walkie-talkie first. Compelled, Song did so, and the police watched in astonishment. Then, Song looked around and, seeing the crowd, realized the caller was one of them. He honked a car horn, and the caller's phone rang again. This confirmed that the man was nearby. A few moments later, Song saw a man in the crowd talking on the phone, but he could only watch helplessly. He couldn't tell the police anything. The caller then told Song that if he had lived a normal life, all this would never have happened. He asked Song to recall events 6 years ago when Song worked at Barron Bank, but before he could say anything further, the call suddenly disconnected. In fact, the police had blocked the entire area's signal. This prevented the caller from contacting Song. An officer asked Song for her phone, and Song cleverly handed over her personal phone, not the one the kidnapper had given her. The bomb squad then inspected the car and discovered that the bombs were planted only under the front seat, not under the back seat. This meant the children were safe, and Tom was immediately taken for medical help. But Sasha was absolutely unwilling to leave her father alone. When the police tried to pull him out, Sasha spotted a sniper from a distance, aiming at her father. Seeing this, she made a shocking decision and immediately ran to the front seat, meaning she couldn't get out of the car either. Seeing this, Song became emotional and asked, "Why did you do this, and how did you know about the sniper?" Sasha replied, "I won't leave my father like this." Meanwhile, the female officer yelled at the police chief, saying, "You scared the girl by setting up the sniper." But the chief insisted that Song was the real culprit, because no call records with any strangers were found on her phone. Shortly after, a young man named Sam arrived, claiming to be Song's brother, and asked for permission to meet her. The police thought that perhaps he would convince Song to leave her daughter. Therefore, he was allowed to leave. Then, as Sam approached Song, he made a shocking revelation that he was the real caller. An enraged Song immediately grabbed him, but Sam threatened that he would trigger the bomb. He said, "I'm not afraid to die because I have nothing left to lose, and these innocent people will explode along with me." Hearing this, Song became terrified and promised to bring back all the money if only his daughter went free. Surprisingly, Sam agreed and temporarily deactivated the bomb, allowing Sasha to safely exit the car. But the next moment, he revealed another shocking revelation. He had already activated the time bomb with only 18 minutes left. He said that he was taking Sasha with him and that if he didn't get the money by then, he would kill the girl. With that, Sam left the scene with the girl. The police didn't stop him because they thought he was Song's brother. Meanwhile, Song also drove frantically after him. Several police vehicles were now following him. Meanwhile, Song's wife was shocked to see all this on TV. When a stranger was claiming to be Song's brother, she immediately called the police and informed them that the man wasn't Song's brother. But it was too late because Sam had disappeared from their sight. A short while later, Song called one of his bosses and, telling him a matter of life and death, asked for a loan. But the man flatly refused. He said that Song had already taken a lot of money from clients without permission, so the bank would file a fraud case against him. Hearing this, Song was completely devastated. As a last hope, he called his wife and asked her to transfer the money from all his accounts to the caller. Then Sam called Song and asked him to come to a ship dock. Seeing this place, Song remembered his crimes from 6 years ago. Then we learned that 6 years ago, Song was actually an ordinary employee at Barron Bank. At that time, the bank had lured chemical factory workers into investing through false and clever marketing. And when the market suddenly crashed, they lost their entire life.